Boxers don't do this. This is why Canelo's not fighting Benavidez. Why would Canelo fight Benavidez, who's relatively unknown, and Benavidez beats him, and Benavidez becomes overnight a superstar? That's Canelo's letting Benavidez make a name off of him.
So you're saying that you're going to make...
If it was up to me, like we keep on saying, we want to see Benavidez. Canelo, hell of a fighter. But my personal opinion, he's ducking Benavidez. You know, that's just my personal opinion. And I'm allowed to speak my mind. That's just what it is. We want to see Benavidez.
One David Benavidez isn't holding back after Canelo Alvarez's defeat to Terence Crawford. The undefeated super middleweight champion has turned up the heat, claiming that Canelo is too afraid to face him.
Can you not give us Canelo Benavidez? Why? Canelo, why? I do not understand it. You're demanding $200 million? Like, come on, dude. Basically, Canelo doesn't want to give us the good fights. Imagine if Canelo and Benavidez gets made. That's the Super Bowl of boxing. Boxing is on the rise. Canelo, don't screw it up for us. I thought I would never say this, but Canelo's scared. Literally, I thought I would, as a fighter, I know fighters are not scared. But wow, we've been begging Canelo. Please, Canelo, please.
Canelo Alvarez previously refused to fight David Benavidez, saying he didn't like Benavidez's methods and was only focused on the millions he'd earned from other fights. Veteran trainer Ronnie Shields boldly predicted before the fight that Terence Crawford would beat Canelo, and he still stands by that after the bout. Shields said he always knew Crawford's agility and ability to switch from orthodox to southpaw would be too much for Canelo. He explained how Bud's skill in changing stances, managing distance, and controlling the pace exposed Canelo's small defensive flaws and opened up opportunities to attack.
By unanimous decision, he got that. I just thought Crawford was too fast for Canelo. Too many combinations. Canelo doesn't jab anymore. He looked for one shot now. The end is there for Canelo. And I just think that Crawford was too fast for him, especially in the southpaw position. We all know Canelo have problems with the southpaw. So, and that's why I picked Crawford. I just thought Crawford could be too fast for him.
Ronnie Shields, the former pro boxing coach, praised Crawford's near-perfect execution, staying calm, timing his shots, and punishing every mistake Canelo made. He called it a masterclass in strategy and ring IQ. Just as he predicted, Shields even suggested that Canelo should consider retirement, as years of high-level fights have clearly worn him down. Oscar De La Hoya, however, offered a different take. He said retirement is Canelo's personal choice. If he feels done, he should stop. But he needs to be smart about his next moves. De La Hoya also admitted Crawford was extraordinarily brilliant at reading styles, counterpunching, and adapting. He said the performance reminded everyone why Crawford is one of the most intelligent and versatile fighters in the sport today.
Crawford is older than Canelo, so we can't use the excuse that he's older, right? We can't use the excuse that, oh, well, he's moved around too much. Well, it's your job to figure him out, right? Just like Chavez would figure out a fighter, just like I would figure out a fighter, just like any real great fighter can figure styles out. That's your job. I think Crawford did a tremendous job. Kudos to him. Sky's the limit for Crawford, and I really don't know where Canelo goes.
For Oscar De La Hoya didn't stop there. He also discussed what's next for both Canelo and Crawford. According to De La Hoya, Crawford's confidence is shining through, and it's what will push him toward even greater challenges. He believes Crawford looks perfectly settled at super middleweight and has no real reason to move back down to 154. However, De La Hoya said Crawford might consider a return to 160 pounds if a massive fight arises like one against rising star Virgil Ortiz Jr. He said that matchup would be thrilling, action-packed, and perfectly...
Crawford at 160. Imagine that. Would be incredible. So there's a good possibility that Crawford will stay at 168. Most likely go down to 160. I don't think he's going to touch 154. I think he'll stay at 160 eventually and try to find the biggest fights possible. And the biggest fight for him would be a Verjor.
Rolando Rolly. Romero praised Terrence Bud Crawford's incredible win over Canelo Alvarez in the September 13th main event. Romero said it takes something special to hand Canelo a loss, and Crawford did exactly that. He noted that the early rounds were competitive, with Canelo pressing forward, but Crawford gradually took full control, dictating the pace, landing cleaner punches, and winning round after round. Romero said Bud's ability to adjust mid-fight against an elite opponent proves he's now one of the greatest boxers ever. He called it an unbelievably accomplished mission.
I mean, that performance did something really special for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, and a lot more special than what probably anyone else is probably thinking, honestly. I didn't expect Crawford to be that big.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't expect Crawford to be that big, but Canelo did good the first few rounds, first like all the way up like to round 4, and then that's when Crawford took over, So I mean, the second half of the fight though, it was all Crawford. There was no question about it.
Now, reports say Crawford is hesitant to face David Benavidez, sharing the same concerns Canelo once had. After defeating Canelo and taking his titles, Crawford has reportedly been cautious about meeting the much larger Benavidez in the ring. Benavidez himself publicly called out Canelo after his loss, demanding a massive Mexico versus USA showdown. Meanwhile, former champions have urged Canelo to retire. Crawford admitted Benavidez is a big guy around 1.80 meters tall and between 88 to 90 kilograms, and that size difference matters. Boxing journalist Dan Rafael also echoed Rolly Romero's take, noting that the Canelo versus Crawford fight started competitively, but Bud's preparation and discipline led to a dominant, strategic victory. Rafael said Crawford's focus, composure, and adaptability.
I thought he did a great job. I thought it was close. I had Canelo ahead in the early going, but I thought Crawford did an amazing job closing that fight down in the last few rounds, where he really started to back the supposed bigger guy up, although for me, they looked about the same size. But that was a brilliant performance. And what can you say? I mean, you got to give him his credit. He created a lot of history. He dreamt this fight. He willed it to happen. A lot of people, not me, but a lot of people laughed at him, said, forget about it, no chance against a bigger guy like that. But he showed.
Dan Rafael further explained that while a Canelo-Crawford rematch would attract massive attention, it might not be the smartest move for either fighter right now. He suggested both should pursue new high-stakes opportunities that better suit their current careers. For Canelo, Rafael said it's time to carefully weigh his next step or even whether he should fight again at all. As for Crawford, his historic win has elevated him to a level where every top contender wants a piece of him still. Rafael advised that Crawford choose his next fight wisely, considering weight divisions, titles at stake, and the event's magnitude. Potential options include the winners of Eubank versus Ben or Hamza Shearer's matchups. That could define the next
winner of Eubank and Ben to the Hamza Shiraz. I mean, those types of names. He's got mandatories. Mabili got the draw tonight in a great fight. There's other fighters that have belts and interim belts and blah, blah, blah. So, nobody's going to rush Terrence Crawford into his next fight. They'll take his time, and, whatever the next fight is, it's going to be a big one because, his name is even greater now than what happened going into this fight for him. So he beats Canelo Alvarez, it becomes a much bigger
lightweight prospect. Floyd Kid Austin Schofield, who had confidently predicted a Canelo win, admitted he was stunned by Crawford's complete dominance. He said he expected a classic Canelo performance, but instead saw the Mexican star fall short in every area. Schofield even questioned for the first time whether Canelo should retire, breaking down the fight. He said Crawford outclassed Canelo in speed, timing, and ring control, building a huge lead and sealing a decisive victory.
I was hurt, I ain't gonna lie, because I've been a fan of Canelo since I was a kid, so my heart, a tear almost came on my I ain't gonna lie, because it felt like, that Canelo's done. But I just think he was a little off that night. I think he can, make a big comeback. But to Crawford, man, he's the greatest of this era. You got to give it to him. Greatest of this era. Nobody's ever done that before. 3-time undisputed. So you got to take your hats off to Crawford. And I was just shocked that he was able to just dismantle Canelo like that, even with the size difference. That just goes to show size.
So what do you think? Should Canelo retire or accept Benavidez's challenge? And who should Bud Crawford face next? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.